Welcome to Durlston Country Park, right up on the top end of Swanage. It's a gorgeous morning, the sun's out and it's a bit breezy, but it's gorgeous. Behind me, as you can see back there, that's Durlston Castle with a lovely coffee shop in it, and this, I think you'll agree, is one hell of a view. How incredible is that? And then that's the castle behind. So Durlston Country Park is owned by Dorset County Council, and it's basically it's just a huge coastal country park, but as you can see it's got some quite special stuff. So this is the stone globe, made completely of Purbeck stone, weighs 87 tonnes, which is incredible. And then all the way around the outside of it, you've got all different additional stones, carved stones. So this one here talking about the earth, but closely related to kind of God and to religious education. Talks about how far it is from earth to the sun, talks about the moon. But yeah, that is one big old rock. And there's the castle just on top of the hill. Right, so Durlston is a nature, well, designated as a nature reserve. Hundreds of species of birds, thousands of species of invertebrates, and then a lot of marine life as well. It's a massive site, hundreds and hundreds of acres, and combines everything from heathland to a bit of woodland, and then predominantly coastal sea cliff. There's puffins here, and quite often you can see dolphins as well. So a little bit for everybody. Well worth a look if ever you head this way. Little bird hut. And then a dolphin look for me stone. Now obviously with the high cliffs and very shallow rock, there's a lighthouse you can just see popping up over the top of the hill there. The path's really good. It's kind of a hard compacted gravel. Gets thousands and thousands of visitors here a year. So well, I suppose obviously the paths have got to be good, but it's a definite case of great for kids, great for wheelchair use. It does get a little bit testing a bit further up when you go just past the lighthouse up towards the lighthouse up towards Anvil Point. But the paths here are pretty robust, so good for everybody. As a family, we've been coming here for years on and off, and used to park here to go climbing about 30 odd years ago. So as we said before, this area is well known for Purbeck stone, and this is the entrance to Tillywim Caves. So Tillywim Caves, back in the 60s and 70s, used to be open, used to be able to go in, but it became quite unstable, so ended up being closed. But Tillywim Caves is just about to see it down through there. and it joins up with a lot of tunnels. When we walk around a little bit further, you'll see where some of the tunnels come out. But Tillywim Caves are limestone quarries which were mainly worked during the 18th century. The name may come from a quarryman called Tilly and a wooden crane known as a whim. So imagine working in there. But as you walk through the Purbeck, you can see all these stone ledges down towards water level, and they're what we use to bring the ships up alongside to then be able to hoist the stone off the ledge onto the ship and away to wherever. London being a key location. There's a lot of Purbeck stone in London. And there's the lighthouse, standing proud for all to see. So this is Anvil Point, and lighthouse is just behind me, and this is where the entrance to the caves used to come out, directly below where we are. This is the end of the main path, so from here on it's kind of stony, grassy, kind of well, quite well eroded unfortunately, but that is because of thousands of people that base themselves here and come down for a trip. So what we'll do, we'll wander down into Anvil Point, we'll see if we can get down towards the water, and then we'll head back up the other side and go up behind the lighthouse. So here we go. We can probably get a little bit lower, so we'll go down to the bottom ledge. Well, the one thing I did want to show you is, as you can see there's a man-made stone wall. So behind there is actually the sea exit to Tillywim Caves. Closed, extremely dangerous area. Been closed since 1976 for reasons of safety. You do see people climbing up and over the top and going in, but yeah, if the sign's up, it's probably there for a reason, to be fair. And being a 50-something, slightly cautious individual, it's probably not something that I would venture into. Sea state's pretty good at the moment. I was hoping to be able to fly the drone, but unfortunately there is quite a breeze, which you can't feel inland. When we left home, it was quite nice. Look at that. You can get a better view there of the cave entrances. Two huge great openings onto that flat ledge. Right, that's where we're going. Up there. To get up to the top of there. Off we go. One thing this area is really popular for is climbing, rock climbing, so sea cliff rock climbing. And one thing you'll notice if you do come here and you happen to edge slightly off the beaten path is there's all of these poles. There's one there, there's a whole row of them going back up there, and then they just keep going along with further ones in the distance. And what they are, they're belay points, so they are actually a proven, although sometimes not to be trusted, unfortunately, form of securing your rope to the top. So there's an old one there. A way of securing your rope to the top of the cliff. So if you are belaying, which is basically holding the other end of the rope to the climber so that they're safe, it's somewhere that you can secure onto without having any problems with potentially dropping a person or putting your own protection in. So there's whole rows of them. And you'll see them periodically all the way through. They used to be put in by, I believe, the Wessex Climbing Club, but now these ones actually look like with the professional camps that have been installed, maybe even by the council, dare I say, or one of the governing bodies. But they do the job. We've used them quite a lot at Durlston Ledge, which is further up, but they're a really good stable foundation. And as you can see, there's 3 of them here. So one there, and then loads of them all the way along up there. As you wouldn't think that over that edge he's actually climbing. There's the lighthouse in all its glory. Obviously it doesn't have to have a very high lighthouse, as it's very high above the water anyway, being on top of the cliffs. So, and that's where we've got to go, all the way back up there and then all the way across. Luckily there is a road that the lighthouse man uses, so we can walk up the tarmac. So as you can see from all the kind of dugouts in the ground here, these would have all been areas mined, but this is a good example, and it's been here for obviously hundreds of years. So this is how they would have pulled the carts of stone back out of the actual mine itself. So a horse or a donkey would have been tied to that and just walked around in circles, and you can see the chain there as it pulls it up, and that would have pulled up that cart out of that quarry. So there we go. So that's my little walk done. Bit of education in today's walk, and I will leave you with that gorgeous view. Right, thanks everyone. I'll see you again soon. Take care.